Greetings, Redheads. Thank you for joining me in another edition of your favorite show, the one, the only Reds View. Of course, I am your gracious host, the one and only J Red. Thank you, everybody, for checking in with me, man. Thank you for all the new subscribers as well as the future subscribers as well. If you have not already, make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is going across your screen right now, youtube.com/RedsView. Of course, you with the GOAT. You are one of the bad boys of podcasting right here, man, J Red. So, man, we got some stuff that we need to talk about, of course. Man, is love in the air or what? Is love in the air or what? And the reason I'm saying that is because Remy Ma ain't worth a damn. So, what am I saying? Let me get into it. All right. So for those who've been hiding under a rock, let me just talk about what has transpired this past weekend, and I think towards the end of last week. So, Remy Ma, you know, her and Papoose have been going through it. You know that they've been going through this divorce, which I thought that they were divorced already, but obviously they're not. Okay. Um, so Remy has moved on, Pap has moved on. So what happened is Pap, well, Claressa Shields, you know, Papoose dates Claressa Shields. She is a female boxer, one of the most popular female boxers, and you know she does her thing. So Papoose was there, but he wasn't on the interview with her. But what's her name? Claressa Shields. She appeared on the Breakfast Club, and I want to really play what she said, but I don't want to get a copyright strike. Breakfast Club, iHeartMedia, they don't play about that. Anyway, so Claressa Shields was on there promoting a fight or like a movie she got coming up or something like that. Everybody knows she dates Papoose. So she didn't say Remy Ma's name, but Remy Ma pretty much came up. Charlemagne insinuated what it was. They got to talking about her relationship with Papoose and how well it's going and how she's so in love, they're so in love, and that they're happy. But then she said something about the elephant in the room. Now, the elephant in the room, of course, was Remy Ma. She was saying basically, hey, they're going through their thing, they can handle that, but you know, me and Papoose are good. That's really all she said. I didn't watch the entire interview, but the segment where she addressed the Remy Ma situation was just that. She didn't say anything negative about Remy. She said that that's, you know, she's waiting pretty much for them to handle that. Okay. So this led to Remy going on IG Live, and y'all, it's so many different clips to play. It would be at least 2 hours because I think she did like 40 minutes or 80 minutes. And then Papoose responded and he did like 40 minutes or 80 minutes. And it's real sad. First of all, let me say this. It's very sad to see these two be into it like this because they've been together for like 17 years. I remember Remy came out with Fat Joe. I'm not Fat Joe. Yeah, Fat Joe. I'm tripping. She came out with Fat Joe, Terror Squad, and everything like that. And then shortly after she came out with them, she ended up going to jail like the year I graduated high school. I remember that whole ordeal. But somebody who was on the rise who held her down was Papoose. They got married. I think it was even a rumor at that time that he was trying to he was accused of trying to break her out of jail or something. Y'all remember that? But anyway, so they've been together as a couple, power couple, hip hop power couple for the last 17 years. They're synonymous with each other. When you think of Remy Ma, you think of Papoose and vice versa, right? So that's all said. Claressa Shields said, and then all you know was stuff started hitting the fan. Remy started airing out Papoose and them, and was saying there's a big age difference between the two and everything like that. And you know, Papoose, she paid for everything. She wore the pants in the relationship pretty much. You know, he held her down while she was in jail, but he blew the money. And then in return, Papoose said, hey, the only reason I'm addressing this right now is because you brought my daughter into it. It's just a whole bunch of back and forth. Like Papoose revealed that he wrote her rhymes. 90% of her rhymes he actually wrote. I think he insinuated that he wrote Conceited. And it makes me think, if Papoose wrote her rhymes, did he write Sheether? Did he write Sheether? And I saw academics say something about this. Should we revoke Remy Ma winning that battle against Nicki Minaj because she actually used the ghostwriter? We'll say that for another time. But yeah, the back and forth, and I saw some of what Remy said today. Remy said that, you know, she got tired of Papoose being her manager, you know, and manager pretty much means that I'm your man, but also your manager. She got tired of paying all the bills and then him getting 20% off of what she earned and all that good stuff, right? Then Papoose was talking about, man, Remy is a lesbian, low key. I found her in bed with another woman, and my child was at home or in the same bed, something like that. It was all over the place, and it was real sad to see all this transpire. Claressa Shields, pretty much, she said, "Hey, hey, you're still invited to the cookout. Me and Pap are gonna be together, and you're still invited to the cookout. So you sign the papers, and then that's another thing. It's up in the air. Who's signing the papers? Who's signing the papers? Papoose saying, or Claressa Shields is saying that it's Remy doing, holding everything up, and then Papoose, or Remy saying that it's Papoose who hasn't signed it because he can't afford the lawyer and all this other stuff. So, with all that being said, let me say this from my observation of it, and I've seen both sides. The obvious elephant in the room. Let me say this: Remy Ma ain't worth a damn. She ain't worth a damn. All right. See, my thing is this, man. Ladies, y'all know how you say that, this is a female world and y'all should be like the female should be able to make more than their man and the man shouldn't be insecure. What's wrong with a woman? What's wrong with a woman making more money than her man? Are you insecure if you don't make as much money as your woman? I thought marriage was supposed to be about support. I thought all combined income was one, and it's not my money, your money. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to a marriage. So I'm seeing a lot of contradiction going on. I'm seeing that women are on, some women, not everybody. Most people who I've seen are on Team Papoose side. But the question is, ladies, do you really want a supportive man? Do you really want to support a man? Remy ain't worth a damn because this man held her down for the last 17 years. All right. And she went to jail over something stupid, allegedly shooting somebody over $1,000. And this man decided, forget that. That's my wife. I'm going to be with you. I'm going to be committed with you. All of that stuff. Now, Remy saying, hey, when I was down in jail, I gave you the money, but you misused it, or whatever the case may be. Listen, man, any man that holds you down while you're in prison, or a woman too, that's loyalty. Remy is disloyal. See, the thing is, they aired out the whole cheating thing, right? Remy started cheating on Papoose continuously. All right, continuously. Now, whether, I'm not here to judge anybody for what they're due. I'm not the cheating police and everything like that. What I'm saying is, when it comes to loyalty, and women claim that they want a man that's so loyal, so committed to them, but when you have that man that may not be as popular as you, may not have as much money as you, and all this other stuff, you feel that you can wear the pants in the relationship and go cheat. So, fellas, you have to be careful with any woman that is on, I was about to say Nicki Minaj. Fellas, you have to be careful for any woman that's on the side of Remy Ma. And let me tell you why. Because those women will be disloyal to you. See, those women who are like, I understand where she's coming from. She made all the money. Those are the same women who will say you're insecure for wanting to make more money than the man. This man has held her down for so long, kept it going too, and allegedly wrote her rhymes. So the whole thing is, that's Remy's money. Remy is the bigger artist for sure. She got more hits than Papoose. Papoose don't even have a hit. You know what I'm saying? I get that aspect of it. But I thought when it came to a relationship and a marriage, it shouldn't be all of that stuff. I'm hearing both sides, and I'm hearing Remy's frustration. But if I get frustrated, does that mean that I can't go out and go cheat as a husband? If I'm over here making all the money, paying for everything, and then my wife isn't contributing, can I go cheat? But this is just, and I'm looking at both sides of it. But the thing is, I'm just like, if you have a committed husband like that, why do you feel like the need to go cheat? Why do you feel like the need to go find somebody else and then not even really caring if he knows or not? And I know people have urges. People go through, different cycles in their marriage where they just want to feel good sometime. I'm not judging Remy for cheating. I'm not doing that. But what I am judging her for is how this whole ordeal is going down. She first appeared with somebody else, like with the battle rapper and stuff like that. And the battle rapper had called out the relationship that, what's that dude's name, by the way? He's a dusty looking dude. But, it seems like, excuse me, seems like Remy is hating on Papoose since he went and upgraded per se. His come up, as she said, right? Because he got him a young woman, younger woman than Nicki. Why do I keep saying Nicki Minaj? He has him a younger woman than Remy Ma. You know, she got something going on for herself. Got a paper right. She's a boxer. She ain't got no kids. You know what I'm saying? She ain't from the streets or nothing like that. That's who he chose to wife up at first, but now, you know, he's living his life happily. You know what I'm saying? And it looks like Remy is envious of that. So she feels the need to air out things, but it's typical. It's typical for women because Claressa Shields didn't even say anything bad. She was just like, they're going to handle that over there. Now we're hearing all this stuff about Papoose being a leech off of Remy Ma and Papoose not having no money. Listen, we know the obvious, right? You're more of a popular star than Papoose is, for sure. You had a bigger career than Papoose did, for sure. But in a marriage and then publicly embarrassing your man, that's a whole different thing. I'm not over here trying to be the cheat police, but it's about the embarrassment to you and your family, your kids, and all this other stuff. I want y'all to notice something. When the thing happened, you know what I'm saying? Like Claressa Shields said, they go handle that. It wasn't a lot of controversy surrounding that. A lot of people probably didn't even see that interview like that. It's Remy who decided to air out all the dirty laundry and all this other stuff. It was Remy that went to the internet to air out Papoose and all this other stuff. That shows you her maturity and her mentality, right? Because if that's somebody that you care about, I don't care if y'all going through a divorce or not, but you have kids, you have children, you had a family, and y'all are not officially divorced. And Claressa Shields didn't say anything that was that bad. So you're going and airing out all this other stuff. Y'all pay attention to that. So yeah, any woman who agrees with Remy Ma, you shouldn't date him. Any woman that agrees with how Remy handled this situation, fellas, that is a red flag. All right. Remy was in jail for doing something very stupid, right? Shooting somebody over $1,000, and then she has the nerve to feel like she's the queen. Now, listen. I understand the aspect of it, right? Papoose, you know, he took a back seat in his career to make sure that he supported Remy and all this other stuff, right? And Remy came out blazing. But my thing is, if he contributed to your success as far as writing your rhymes, then he has as much say so in your career, and that's his money too. That's his money too. If I'm writing 90% of your rhymes, allegedly, that's my money that you're talking about. You over here talk now. Yeah, when you go get booked to do a show, you're performing the songs and you actually get booked. They don't know that I'm the ghostwriter and everything like that. I may not even have writing credits. But the thing is, if I contributed to that and you know that I wrote your stuff, that's our money. That is our money. And the thing is, man, you know, the whole Papoose, you know, they keep trying to act like he's a bum that leeches off of women and stuff like this. Did you know that Papoose is actually an executive at TuneCore, one of the biggest distribution platforms when it comes to streaming? Did you know that? Don't try to play Papoose like he ain't really been doing his thing, like he ain't got his paper right either. I'm just looking at it from both sides. But yeah, the man that held you down and, you know, put everything to the side. What man, you know, typically you think that a man is just gonna hold you down typically while you're in prison because you know how we move around like we do. That man held you down, Remy, and you're showing who you really are. You're showing who you really are. And like I said, she ain't worth a damn. She ain't. That's the obvious thing. All right. Now, let's look at Papoose. My thoughts about Papoose, right? To play devil's advocate, Papoose, this is your fault too. This is your fault. The obvious thing is Remy ain't shit. But when we're looking at Papoose, you knew what woman you had. Fellas, let me tell you this, man. If your woman cheats on you, it's over with. She ain't yours no more. If your woman cheats on you, especially on a consistent basis, I understand how marriages work, right? Things happen and you're supposed to be able to resolve it. But if your woman cheats on you on a consistent basis, bro, it's over. The respect is gone. And that's just keeping it a buck, you know? Like Remy, once she continuously started cheating on Papoose, it was done. Papoose decided to stay with this woman. This, you know, pretty much she's an upgraded chick from the streets. That's what Remy is. Look at what she went to jail for. So my thing is, you knew what type of woman that you had, and the fact that she cheated and continuously kept doing it, and you stuck around for it. You gotta wear that clown face paint. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, now that doesn't negate the fact that she ain't shit. I'm not negating that, and I'm not negating the fact that Papoose really held her down, because that's what a man is supposed to do. But see, this is the reason why that preferably the man should make more money than the woman. This is why this Remy and Papoose thing, if you look at it, this is the prime reason why men should make more money than the woman. What happens? When the woman makes more money, she feels more entitled. When the woman makes more money, especially if it's more of like a significant amount, I'm not saying like if you make 50,000 a year and she makes 70,000 a year. I'm talking about if you make 50,000 a year and she makes $150,000 a year. You know what I'm saying? If you make $200,000 a year and she's a millionaire, stuff like that, right? Because the respect level might not be there. As much as these ladies talk all this stuff about women should, a man shouldn't feel insecure about a woman, it leads to stuff like this. Because if she's walking around like hell, this is my money that's paying these bills. This is my money. And I'm saying if a man is actually going to work, he just happens to make significantly lower than the woman, she's going to feel entitled. And she's going to walk around and be like, you know what? Shoot, let me get with a baller or something like that. Let me get with a man who's on my level. If you notice, and this goes back to those Kevin Samuels videos, RP to Kevin Samuels. But if you go back and look at those videos, those women would say, I make, like he asked, what do you want in a man? Well, I prefer a man to make six figures or more like I do, right? Even though, this whole, that money doesn't equate to what type of man you're going to get, but the money we make equates to a type of woman we'll get. You know what I'm saying? And this is obvious. But this goes with the reason why men should strive to make more money than their women. Because what did you hear when this back and forth happened between Papoose and Remy? What did you hear? Remy talking about my money, my money, my money, my money, not our money, my money, and publicly embarrassing Papoose, who's not as a big a celebrity or big as a rapper than she is. And these women will walk around and say that I'm insecure if I don't want to date you because you make more money than me and all this other stuff. And it's not about feeling less than a man. It's just, as a man, what comes with that. When women have more money, it's an ego thing. It's like, okay, well, I can pretty much do what I want. I can tell him what to do since I'm bringing home the bacon and stuff like that. And that could be her money. You can have your own money, but the respect level ain't gonna be there. But that's the reason why, ladies. That's the reason why, right there. This whole ordeal between Remy and Papoose shows you all of that. But yeah, I think that Papoose at the end of the day should have some blame in this. Because now this is the thing, I'm not going to beat up on Papoose because I think the focal point should be on Remy. See, the thing is with Papoose, he's done what he's supposed to do as a man. She went to jail, he held it down. She got out of jail, he held it down. She cheated, he held it down. So him playing his role as a husband. See, this isn't just her boyfriend. This is her husband. They went before God, signed those papers, and here they are. So I'm saluting and supporting him for being a black man that's a husband first, a father first, that cares about the family. See, of course, I said earlier that if a woman cheats on you, it's a wrap, right? But also in a marriage, just because somebody cheats on you, you need to do all you can to work it out. As hard of a pill that is to swallow, that's just what it is. So this is me focusing on the good for Papoose. Okay, yeah, y'all got married. You knew what you got into. But at the end of the day, you're doing your thing to be the best husband, the best father. And I'm supporting him as a husband and father. She cheated continuously. He tried to make it work out and it didn't end up working. But what did he do? He went and upgraded. He got him a younger chick. She's making money. He's doing his thing. And then they're happy. And the whole age thing, oh my gosh, she's like, what is he? How old is Papoose? Like, and he's in his 40s, and I think like he's like 47, and I think Claressa Shields is 30. Listen, man, it is what it is. She's grown. 30 is full and grown. All right. Once you 30, it don't matter if you date a damn 60 or 70-year-old. You are grown. All right. If a woman is 30. So obviously she wants, Claressa Shields wants to end up starting a family with Papoose and all this other stuff. So yeah, man, I just it's still sad to see, but it's safe to say that Remy ain't worth a damn. And that's what I want to say about that. Y'all let me know in the comments, whose side are you on? Are you team Papoose or are you team Remy?